News service of Barong Insurance Agency. Big storms in western Oklahoma overnight. That's the big story for 7:30. I'm John Matthews. Noisy night in areas of western Oklahoma as heavy rain and wind blasted much of the area. The Oklahoma Mesonet reported a wind gust of 102 miles an hour at Hinton. Both lanes of westbound Interstate 40 between Hydro and Hinton were closed overnight when a truck camper was blown over, blocking the roadway. CK Energy had more than 40 outages overnight, affecting more than 10,000 customers. Public Service Company of Oklahoma had a total of about 300 customers without electricity in Custer, Beckham, and Ouachita counties. Clinton Public Schools Superintendent Nathan Meggitt discusses the financial outlook for the upcoming school year.
Next year, we're down 120 kids. Our state aid will be down $1 million, was my estimate, starting the year. So we'll be $1 million less, which is about 15 certified staff members. We didn't go cut 15 certified staff members. We did in areas absorb a few spots. We'll carry over a healthy amount of money. We'll be okay for next year. But if you lose $1 million every single year, eventually that's going to dig into that. So we're healthy at the moment, and we're going to be healthy next year. We don't have to go cut people.
Meggitt says the district will continue being mindful about programs in place and where money is being spent. A former nurse at Great Plains Regional Medical Center in Elk City charged with 3 counts of sexual battery in Beckham County District Court against 3 employees is now being sued by 2 of those employees. Mike Smith has more.
Michael Todd Rawls held a position of authority over the employees who all reported, among other things, inappropriate touching by Rawls. The negligence claim shows Rawls would corner the plaintiffs, making lewd comments and or invade their personal space. A supervisor identified as Paul Giles was reportedly informed by the plaintiffs surrounding the action of Rawls, but Giles allegedly attempted to sweep the issues under the rug, as did other supervisors. An agency that was involved in the placement of Rawls at the facility where the plaintiffs worked at the time of the incidents is also named in the petition. The plaintiffs are seeking a judgment for all actual and punitive damages and any other relief the court deems just. Mike Smith, Right Radio News.
Thank you, Mike. Clinton High School vocal music director Kimberly Dirksen was honored Saturday night with the Transformative Teacher Award at the Oklahoma Summer Arts Institute. Dirksen becomes the first rural teacher and first Clinton teacher to receive the prestigious honor. The award recognizes instructors who have made a profound impact on the lives and artistic journeys of their students through their dedication to their craft and commitment as educators. We'll have more news coming up next.
I'm talking to Michael Barong of Barong Insurance. Michael, tell me a little bit about why you think people should do business with Barong Insurance.
We've been in the community for 75 years, and we don't plan on going anywhere. I think that history and being rooted in the community really helps in how you approach taking care of, your customers. So you want to do right by them, not for the short term, but for the long term.
For all types of insurance, it's Barong Insurance, the agency service-built. Barong Insurance.
A lot of progress is being made at the Oklahoma Spaceport in Burns Flat, now known as Infinity One Oklahoma Spaceport. Oklahoma State Senator Darcy Yeck says more tenants are locating at the site.
A new tenant called HOP Aero, and that's a startup rocket company. They've done several successful test fires with one of his rocket motors. They're working with SWOSU on some team opportunities, and they even hired a SWOSU grad to be on their team. I don't know the gentleman's name, but I guess he's from Corn, is what I was told. So that's great. Another company called Firewall Forward leased one of the buildings there, and they're moving their entire airplane piston motor operation from Colorado to the spaceport. It's exciting. They're going to have approximately 10 to 15 full-time equivalents, so there's a lot of activity going on out at the spaceport.
Senator Yeck says the activity at the spaceport is good for rural Oklahoma. The mayor of the town of Carnegie says road work is scheduled to begin today on the Ouachita and Ash Streets replacement project. The work includes repaving the streets and widening the corner near Super C to improve traffic flow and safety. Residents should expect traffic delays and temporary disruption in the area through this week and are encouraged to plan their routes accordingly. The project's funded through the town's Streets and Alleys Fund that was previously approved by a vote of the citizens of Carnegie. A letter from the Friends of the Oklahoma Educational Television Authority says OETA received solid bipartisan majorities in the Oklahoma House and Senate and was signed by the governor for the fiscal year 2027 funding. However, OETA's reauthorization through the regular sunset process was passed in two different forms, one for 5 years and one for an ongoing basis by both chambers of the legislature, but was vetoed by the governor. The letter states that talks have already begun with elected leaders on needed legislation to reauthorize OETA when the Oklahoma legislature reconvenes in February of 2027. State funding for OETA is used to maintain towers, transmitters, and transponders, which provide hundreds of critical emergency alerts to families, emergency services, and the United States Army. Meanwhile, OETA's programming is funded entirely by private donors. The Friends of OETA Board of Trustees is made up of 16 members, including 3 from Weatherford: Randy Butler, Garrett King, and Harold Wright. The Weatherford Regional Training Facility, located on Airport Road, will soon be renovated, says Fire Chief Corey Selman.
One area had a bunch of bathrooms and one shower. They're going in and making 2 big bathrooms with showers, ADA compliant, redoing a little kitchenette area that was in there, and then making the EOC larger.
The Oklahoma Department of Emergency Management is partially funding the project with grant funding through the American Rescue Plan Act. News at 7:30 is service of Barong Insurance Agency. Coming up next, we'll look at local funeral notices after word from Lee Hometown Funeral Home.
When you lose a loved one, it's important to have someone who's compassionate, understanding, and personal. Brandon Lee with Lee's Hometown Funeral Home in Clinton is dedicated to honoring your loved ones with heartfelt service. His goal is to create meaningful tributes that celebrate lives while guiding you with every step of the final process. Whether it's a traditional service, cremation, or pre-planning, if you have already purchased a funeral plan elsewhere, they will honor it as if it was their own. At Lee Hometown Funeral Home, they continue the tradition of caring and personal service. Please visit today to experience the difference.
Funeral services for 81-year-old Charlotte Ann Majors will be held today at 10 o'clock at the Scott Baptist Church in Hinton. She was a teacher and a librarian. Burial will follow at the Niles Cemetery near Hinton. Services under the direction of Turner Funeral Home in Hinton. Funeral services for 72-year-old Darrell Gamble will be held today at 2 o'clock at the Eric First Baptist Church. He works as a farmer. Interment will be held at the Eric Cemetery under the direction of Winery Funeral Service and Cremation Center. Funeral services for 69-year-old Curtis Holman will be held on Tuesday at 2 o'clock at Ray Martha's Funeral Home in Cordell. Interment will be at the Lone Star Cemetery in Rocky. Today's funeral notice is a service of Brandon Lee at Lee Hometown Funeral Home in Clinton.